Everybody has a story to tell. We all have plenty. This isn't the whole story, but there's a part of my story that I think back on and I thought back on today. And that is about attitude. There was a day, shortly after I found out my parents were getting a divorce. Actually, I think it was before they actually said they were going to do it, but you know how you know when you know. And there was a hurricane in my hometown, a lot of water damage around the house that I grew up in before they demolished it. And somehow I was the only one there. There were boxes and boxes and metal shrapnel and all of these things that needed to be brought out to the street. And it had been months of it just sitting there. It was a July day, and I was very much heavily on the middle of my menstrual cycle, so the heat of Florida was just not fun, and then lugging all of these heavy boxes by myself was definitely not fun, and being there in a home that had been abandoned by a family that, from my perception at that time, was just broken. It wasn't fun. And there was one day when I was just walking these boxes out to the street. Metal had cut up my legs and all these annoying things kept happening. And I was getting really frustrated. And there was this one box that was super heavy with my mom's school books. And I started carrying it and I started to trip and it began to fall out of my hands, but I leaned forward, I grabbed it by the corner of the box. And the cardboard ripped open. I fell back and everything else fell forward, but inside of my hand was one piece of paper, one piece of completely not damaged paper. That piece of paper said this. It said attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. And attitude to me is more important than facts. It's more important than the past, than education, than money, than circumstances, than failures, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, a home. The remarkable thing is that we have a choice every day regarding the attitude that we will embrace for that day. And we cannot change our past. We cannot change the fact that people will act in a certain way. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I'm convinced that life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. This piece of paper has gone with me every place I've lived since then. And if you know my story at all, you know that I've been a lot of places. And I remember this every day.